Hey humans, I'm Aaron Rosemund, the Senior Director of Security Skills at Pluralsight, and I want to share with you the courses and lab that we have published for the first week of September. So I'm going to hop right into it. So we take a look. Here's a list. We have some web attacks enumeration, some stuff on generative AI, which I'll dig into a little bit, as well as the IT security champion for Zero Trust, the developer security champion for API security, and a security hot takes, which are near and dear to our heart, talking about the LastPass breach, which does get a little bit spicy. Now, I do want to walk through each one of these, and I do have a little bit more time. So Lee Allen published a lab on web attacks and enumeration. So if you have access to labs, you can check that out. Of course, make sure you get in there and go rate it. When I looked at this, I was extremely happy about the design of this. You go from 0 to 60 from pinging something all the way through WhatWeb, which is one of my favorite tools, as well as ending it with working on some stuff with Dirbuster. So really a good, solid kind of survey of what that lab looks like. I went in to check it out. One thing you'll notice here is you are inside our lab environment. It's got a single desktop on it that allows you to then hit 2 other IPs, which means every time we spin that lab up for you, there's 2 other devices in that environment that have different web servers on them. So when you're doing this enumeration, it does end up feeling really realistic, but you're at no risk of accidentally scanning the internet, which is the benefit. But WhatWeb being one of my favorite tools, I was excited to see that come back, and you can dig into some analysis about what this is, what you're doing, and where this falls into the kind of pen test and web attack process. Now, generative AI, of course, got to have some more of that coming out within the security domain. We actually have a whole path for that. It's generative AI for security professionals. It includes this course just out from Christy Pascaru on generative AI techniques for cyber defense, which is how are we leveraging this in the cyber defense field. There'll be another one that comes out on attacks, as well as the current one that's already in this path that talks about security risks and privacy concerns. And if you want to take a look, we also have that hot takes where we just kind of discuss the implications of ChatGPT in a really casual way. Now, next is the IT security champion for Zero Trust. So we have security champions from the perspective of each of those roles that are technology roles. So whether it be an IT admin or a developer, that's what those paths are for. This is yet another course in those paths. This does dig in from Craig Stansberry. It really digs in on the interpretation of how you're supposed to implement. So the implementation talks about that a little bit, but not too much. 16 minutes, just a perspective you need to know to understand what are these words that we're hearing for Zero Trust? What are these kind of pillars of this implementation? And what do we need to be doing about it? Same thing from the perspective of developers, but for API security is huge. We have a lot of content around it. If you're looking for just a first look at, what does that space look like? What do I need to know? And how can I help our team really dig in on API security? This is for you from Gavin, Johnson, Lynn. And then another security hot takes, the LastPass breach, where we dig in on our opinions. This is from me and Brandon Duvall, our internal author here at Pluralsight, where we talk about our opinions about whether we continue to use the LastPass, how you feel about password tools in the first place, as well as, what we think the implications of this kind of attack mean for how these need to be secured moving forward, or, maybe where there were some gaps in security or even just public understanding. And that's a wrap for the first week of September. I will post all these links inside the comments and the details, and I hope you join us on Pluralsight. See you next week.